Good evening, and welcome back to the Poe Museum. Do you ever get the feeling that someone's watching you? That might be because Edgar Allan Poe's ghostly image has a habit of appearing where you least expect it. Whether it be the flaking paint on your door, the stains on your wooden fence, a candy wrapper, a caterpillar's back, or even a piece of toast. It seems you never quite know where Edgar Allan Poe's grim visage will next appear. But what about on one of Poe's valuable letters? That will be the subject of tonight's installment of the Curator's Crypt. So here it is, right inside this little box. It's called the Shroud of Philadelphia. It's kind of like the Shroud of Turin because Poe's face appears staring out from the surface of this letter. Can you see it right there? Well, how did it get there? What does it mean? Is it some dark, foreboding omen? Or just an accident? Let's look into the history of the Shroud of Philadelphia. Well, it began its life as just an autograph, addressed to Oscar T. Keeler, who was an early autograph collector back in the 1840s. And autograph collecting was just getting big then. In fact, we have another Poe autograph written about the same time, and it does look a lot like a letter. Back then, it was kind of an honor to have someone request your autograph, so instead of just jotting down your name on a candy wrapper, you wrote a nice letter. This is what Poe had to say to Lucy Dorothea Henry on June 20th, 1843. He says, "Dear Madame, it gives me pleasure to comply with your very flattering request contained in your letter to my sister of March 26th. With the highest respect, I am, Madame, your most obedient servant, Edgar A. Poe." That's an autograph. That's also kind of Poe's form letter for his autographs. Let's see what he had to say to Oscar T. Keeler here. "Dear sir, it gives me pleasure to comply with the very flattering request embodied in your letter of June 18th. My absence from this city will, I hope, serve as sufficient apology for the tardiness of this reply. With respect, your obedient servant, Edgar A. Poe." So it's a pretty standard letter, but did you notice something about both these letters? Well, this one to Oscar T. Keeler is dated July 18th, and he says he got the request on June 18th. This one to Lucy Henry is dated June 20th, and he got the request back on March 26th. So Poe takes a little while to get back to people sometime, but in both cases he kind of apologizes for it and makes sure, he feels bad about it, and he is still your obedient servant, so that's pretty nice. So, standard letter. This one I mentioned was part of an autograph collection. And it's dated July 18th, 1842. And the owner placed it in his autograph album, pressed it down between paper, and left it there. So how'd the picture get on it? Well, in the February 1845 issue of Graham's Magazine, there was a profile of Poe. And it featured this engraving of him. See, he doesn't have his mustache yet, but trust me, this is Poe. There's his little name down there. And a lot of people tore their copies of Poe's picture out of the magazine and kept them. We've actually got a few different samples of this here. So Oscar T. Keeler was no different. He stored his copy of that engraving along with the letter, pressed them together. The ink from the engraving pressed into the paper, and permanently stained it. And that's what you see right there. And you also see it a little bit on the other side. So the mystery is solved. And that's why to this day, we display the letter along with the engraving. So mystery solved. But do you agree with our solution? Or have you seen Poe's face pop up in any other unexpected places? More importantly, do you think that Poe has reincarnated as a caterpillar? Let us know down in the comments what you think. And if you'd like to help us preserve precious Poe pieces, like the Shroud of Philadelphia, why not support the Poe Museum or become a member at poemuseum.org. And until next time, thanks for joining us. And I'll leave you with more gratuitous footage of Edgar the Poe Museum Cat doing Edgar the Poe Museum Cat stuff.